Thank you very much. And just in response to that too, hindsight's always 2020. It is always 2020. And faced with a pandemic, I think this administration did a admirable job in trying to do the absolute best they can to protect our population. When the Chinese government was not forthcoming with information on how we could protect ourselves, I think that lies with the Chinese government. So I know that this administration faced some pretty serious criticism very early on in the pandemic for not allowing people to travel from affected countries to our country. So many things were brought up about that period of time, a huge amount of criticism heaped on this administration, and yet it was the right thing to do. Again, hindsight is 2020. Now we have those that are questioning why didn't he do this sooner? Well, maybe because of all the criticism that was being placed upon the administration for trying to do the right thing in the first place. So a study published in March out of the University of Southampton in the United Kingdom, I think we've talked a lot about that, indicated that if those Chinese authorities had acted 3 weeks earlier than they did, the number of coronavirus cases could have been reduced by 95%, and its geographic spread would have been severely limited. And so let's just think about that a little bit. We know that China vastly downplayed, again, the emergence of the coronavirus as early as the fall of 2019. And if China had acted just 3 weeks earlier, tens of thousands of American lives could have been saved, and potentially millions of Americans could still be going to work. So the Chinese government's lying and obstructionism hasn't just impacted our ability to respond to the virus, it's also escalated to the level of blatant theft with the goal to erode U.S. military leadership. In April, the leader of U.S. PACOM, Pacific Command, Admiral Davidson, he testified before Congress that he believed China was, quote, stealing technology in just about every domain and trying to use it to their advantage, end quote. This is in addition to ongoing cyber operations targeting our intellectual property. China has absolutely no respect for the law. They will do anything they can to get a leg up, and whether that's stealing sensitive military secrets or letting people die to avoid taking responsibility for the spread of COVID-19. So what I want to see, and I believe what a majority of Iowans want to see too, is for China to pay for this deadly obstruction. To allow the Chinese Communist Party to go unpunished would be a travesty, and it would result in this cycle of lying to go on. And so thank you, Mr. Chairman, for having this hearing and attempting to tackle the issue. I'm also glad that throughout Congress, we are having a conversation about how we can best bring the manufacturing of critical medical supplies home. I'm working on some legislation on that front and look forward to ensuring that if this happens again, and it will, I'm sure, if the Communist Chinese Party continues on like they have, that we're not subject to the whims of China. So I'd like to start my question with Attorney General Fitch. And thank you so much, Attorney General, for being with us today and for being the first woman to serve as AG of Mississippi. Thank you for being a strong role model. So Attorney General, Mississippi was one of the first states to file suit against China due to their failure to inform us about COVID-19. So we've heard a lot about retaliation lawsuits regarding COVID-19, and I've even heard some really insane statements coming out that their legislature would be willing to allow Chinese actors to, of course, then turn around and sue Americans. So can you talk to me a little bit about retaliation that China might have against your state? And if so, what can Congress do to help alleviate that concern?
Thank you, Senator Ernst. I appreciate that. And it's an honor to serve as the first woman Attorney General and represent all Mississippians. Certainly, China is known for repetitive bad actions, and we have to hold them accountable. Certainly, they will probably come after all of us who are looking to do that. But we're prepared, and if we continue to hold them accountable, if we go for monetary damages and civil penalties, and we begin the deterrent process, they will stop. And it'll be a sign to all the nations that we will not tolerate that on behalf of Americans, Mississippians, everyone across our state, our many states. So I understand that there's that possibility, but we have to stand strong and we have to stand united.
Yeah, thank you so much, Attorney General. My time has expired, but China has been a darn bad actor for a very long time. And I think Americans are sick and tired of taking it in the shorts from China. So it's about time that we stand up for ourselves and let them know that we will not tolerate it any longer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.